Is there a lag in this?
Yeah.
Let's see how long.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our live.
That's quite
Julian's
the lag.
driving me, or you're joining me, not driving me. Julian's joining me today. Everyone say hi, Julian.
What's up?
Even though last time we were talking about lives in a video, he said he was shy. So you guys are going to get him like deadpanning
Yeah,
the camera a lot, most likely.
exactly. Yeah. I'm just gonna stare blankly.
I hope not.
I'm just kidding. I'm like the last
We're going to
one.
be like, okay, can he say something?
It's like you always talk in all the videos, and now that we can ask you questions, you're not saying anything. No,
Like,
don't
now
worry,
I'm all
guys.
shy. Now I'm actually shy.
No,
But how's everyone doing? I hope you're having a great day. We will explain all of this in a moment, but I just want to like allow people to join in for this last minute live. I know I posted this like so last minute, so thanks for joining us. I'm going to do a little bit of training, but we're not sure what I'm going to do today. So, yeah.
All right. I'm just looking at some of the comments. So my job today is going to be looking through your comments, letting Savannah know about maybe questions specifically directed to her, and I'll tackle any of the questions that you guys would like to ask me. I know a lot of you guys have been a part of Savannah's community for a while now, and I like to think that you guys appreciate the things that I share with her in terms of like training and recovery and getting prepared for tournaments, the mental side, the physical side, all of it. So now is your opportunity. You know what? Like you can ask about something that we're working on together. Maybe there's something that you're going through that you'd like my opinion on. I'm more than happy to like give you my 2 cents on it and help the Savannah community kind of,
Grow.
exactly. For personally and together.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Because I love Kick Spam. Our Kick Spam is
Kick Spam
absolutely
is awesome.
amazing. I see someone in there right now. Chris. Hi, Chris.
Yes.
Hey, everybody. Can
Is
you
that what the
please
crown
give tips
means?
on? Yeah, the crowns mean
Okay.
that they are
A member
Kick
of
Spam
your
members. Yeah.
Kick member. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
I need to see more like crowns in chat. But okay, I know everyone's dying to know why I'm wearing a sling, so I'm just gonna say this now. I kind of popped my shoulder out last week. And just so everyone knows, I didn't end up competing in California. So this didn't happen at a tournament. It happened when I got back from California. I sparred for the first time in a while and popped my shoulder out. So that's where we're at. Because I know I already have like so many comments asking what happened to my shoulder. So
Yeah.
we're getting that right out of the way.
Exactly. So yeah, Savannah's like, are you just going to be answering questions or are you going to be training me as well? So I said it's tough to, so it's tough to like train you in this regard. Now I'm going to talk to you. I'll get to you guys in a second, but Savannah takes priority. All right. So it's hard to like train you in this regard because the main thing that you can do now, because when you see me, I'm your mental prep, strategic prep, and physical like prep coach. Like that's kind of like my hat. When you get injured, it is several hats, but they all fall like together, right? When you get injured, you have your physio and your chiro and your massage, like everything that you're doing to recover. And that is kind of like what you need to stick to until you're at the point where you can start doing my training again, right?
Yeah.
So I'm still here. I'd still want you to keep coming, do things like this. But at this point, the main thing that you can do is what's not hurt, keep that conditioned while not creating imbalances. That's the hardest thing, right? Because when one shoulder gets hurt and you keep training, your odds are going to compensate on the other side, leading to an injury on that side. When one knee gets hurt, the other side compensates. When one hip gets hurt, the other side compensates. And the compensation happens through like muscle imbalances, over strengthening the one side, things like that. So what you need to focus on now as your shoulder is injured, working a pain-free range of motion on that side. It's got to be a pain-free range of motion. You had a great piece of advice. It's like starting with static holds when you're able to. It's a great start. And then the other side, the side that's still good, is working on light conditioning. Because again, if you keep overdoing it on that side, you're probably just going to hurt that side too. And then if your legs are okay, which I'm pretty sure your knees are not, I'm not
They're
sure.
doing better.
They're doing better?
Yeah, they're doing better.
So that's something that you can still train, right? But you don't want to put yourself in a position where you train and then accidentally throw the arm,
Yeah.
right? So where I would train if I specifically had a shoulder injury to your extent, which is pretty severe, like moderate to severe injury for the shoulder, I would be doing almost exclusively like cardio that's not going to create imbalances is where I would stay. So that when my shoulder starts to feel better and I start to get on my toes and moving again, I don't feel tired
Yeah.
instantly, right?
Yeah.
So for you today, I would say like all of your rehab assignment. So any shoulder mobility you have to do,
Yeah.
mobility on the other side still. I cannot stress the importance of mobility on the other bloody side. All right. You still got to move.
Yeah.
All ranges of motion. All right. Even if it feels fine. And then legs. Condition your legs. All right. So I would be doing like, I would keep it in the sling and keep it nice and tight. But I would do like things that, like, as long as it's not the jumping and the bouncing doesn't hurt, I would stay on your toes and I would work on footwork and moving, because what tends to get most tired during your fights?
My quads.
Your quads. So let's keep you moving,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
That would be my direction for you.
So
right?
maybe we'll do a little strength. Maybe we do a little kicky,
Yeah.
and then see how everything goes.
Exactly. All right. If you want to go through some of your rehab assignment for your shoulder as well, or your mobility, you can do
Yeah.
that too.
Maybe we get to that.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see who's in chat. Get well soon. Thank you, Deep. Laugh Belt, first of all, seeing you both together. So thank you. Thank you very much. And hi, Bo, with the gold crown.
And then this one's a good one for you. Tips on improving kick accuracy.
Yeah, well, we got tons of tutorials on my YouTube already. So go check out, like, I have literally a plethora of playlists on kick strength, flexibility, accuracy, all that fun stuff. So make sure, check out the page and take a look. And I also have a Patreon page dedicated to training that as well. So go look at those things. You got resources. Okay.
Do you have a playlist created for accuracy?
No, I have some tutorials on it.
What's
though.
your like favorite one off the top of your head?
Favorite
Favorite one if
accuracy?
you were like, I need you to watch this one right now.
It would be, okay, tips on accuracy. Depends on if you're also looking for like speed though. Because I like the one that I used to do all the time where there's like numbers on the bags.
Yep.
And like your coach or someone would call out the number and then you'd kick to that number.
Okay.
So
Do you
those,
have that
that
on
one's
video?
fun. No.
Oh, well, it's her favorite one. She doesn't have it on video. Go watch the videos. Well, okay. What's your
Well,
favorite
that
one?
specific one is not on video. Maybe I'll make it.
There you go. All right.
Should I make that video? Let me know if I should make that video. How to exercise regularly.
So how to exercise regularly could mean different things for different people, Syed. Exercising regularly for somebody could mean regularly going 2 times a week, right? For me, personally, exercising regularly is 5 or 6 times a week. I don't feel good unless I'm going to the gym 5 or 6 times a week. Now for me, it's even like switching from 5 or 6 times a week of weightlifting to like incorporating cardio as I prepare for my grading, right? So how do you exercise regularly depends on your goal and what you're looking for. So if you want to kind of like ask a little bit more detailed, I can help you a little bit there, but regular means different for different people.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to just get started.
Yep.
And to create like a routine and then to stick to it.
Yes.
Because like even for myself, as you guys all know, like I can be really lazy very easily. And so if I don't stick to my routine, like it's not happening. So creating a routine, sticking to that schedule, and then going from there, and not letting like one bad day disrupt the rest of your week. Because like one day off doesn't have to derail everything.
Nope.
That's a hard one though. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I missed today. I'll start again next week. It's like, no, just try again tomorrow.
Yeah, the whole like I'm gonna wait till January 1st idea, okay, I messed, like I didn't do it this week, I'm just gonna wait till next week idea, or you know what, this weekend I've got like my birthday or this party coming up, so I'm just gonna start after that. There's always gonna be something. What's important to you, and go. Even if you can only do one of the days of the week, one is better than none. Just start somewhere.
Absolutely. Okay, let me do a little bit of strength training while you continue to ask us questions. Maybe I'll start with just some pulses, just some strength,
Sure.
hip strength, just to keep up to date with it,
Yes.
and then see how that goes.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna stand up now and do the thing. All right.
Remember, conditioning maintenance doesn't necessarily mean it has to be hard,
Yeah.
right? Another thing is we know the conditioning that we can get back into in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Specifically, like you give 8 weeks, we can get a really good peak.
Yeah.
So you just don't want to get out of the point where you need like a prep bit. And 8 weeks, actually, to be honest, even with 8 weeks, even if you kind of took a lot of time off, we can get you back pretty good.
Okay.
So we want to stay around, like if we needed to dial it in, like we could dial it in like 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
That's the conditioning point you want to stay at.
Okay.
So
What's the hard?
I think her hard point of this journey is her bloody injuries at this point.
It's the constant unknowing of if my body's gonna be okay. Every time I go to do something, it's either I'm great and feel amazing and I could do the exact same thing and destroy my shoulder.
Yeah.
So I think that, and I don't know if it's the hardest point just because of the physicality of it, but it's also the hardest part with me mentally, because it really takes a toll on my mental health when this happens, because my training really helps with positive mental health. So when I don't get to train as often or less or not do the things that I love doing, it's really hard for me. So having to navigate and juggle that is definitely the hardest part, by far. That's a good question though. Okay, pulses. Maybe I'll just do them on the wall. I guess I can't do them on the wall because I can't hold on to the other side. I'll just do them freestanding.
Can you put your, does it hurt to put your shoulder on the wall?
I can't lean on the wall.
Okay.
I can freestand them.
Yeah. You can
Okay.
do that arm.
Hold on to one side and not the other side. I'll just freestand for both of them.
Okay.
I'll try and do 10. Let's see how this goes. Ask us questions while I stand on one leg.
Yeah. Somebody asked a question, but I don't know what it means. Greetings from Chicago. Chicago. Love your content.
I was just in Chicago in January.
Yep. Warrior Cup.
Warrior Cup. We just put out that video as well. When was that, everybody? Was that last week? Last week's Champ Series?
It was not the one you just posted, but the one right before that.
Yeah. Loved the deep dish.
I did see that. Deep dish is really good in Chicago.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
related to injuries, but could you guys give some advice on coaching, teaching, martial arts? I'll be taking over some classes at my dojang, and any general advice to become a better teacher. Never
Oh,
stop
that is
becoming a
an
stu- sorry, go ahead.
amazing
Yeah, that is a really
question.
good question. I wanted to jump right into
Sorry.
it. That's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
That's an amazing, for me, just if I'm going to say one idea is never stop becoming a student. Never stop being a student. Never stop being a student.
Yeah.
All right. The second you think that you are the master of all masters, you stunt your growth. So you need to always be a student, even as a teacher. All right. There are ways to improve. There are ways that you can help these kids, these teens, these adults, these people that want to learn from you.
Yeah.
You got to keep trying to become better. That's my main thing right now is keep trying to be better.
Yeah. Keep learning, keep growing.
Yeah.
I actually just filmed something that's going to be out, I don't know when, but I just filmed something where I was talking about the definition of being an expert.
The definition of being an
Yeah,
expert.
being an expert, being a master, knowing your field to the highest
Yeah.
possible standard. And how you have to continuously learn if you want to continue to have that title. Because you can be a current like expert, but if you don't continue to grow and learn, you're stunting your own growth and your own learning ability. So just doing that and knowing that like if you don't have the answers, that's okay. Go find them and be okay with not having the answer. Because a lot of the time, these like quote unquote experts are giving out misinformation because they're like, oh, well, I want to be seen as someone that has all the answers. And then they're teaching the wrong things. So it's okay to not know everything. Go and find the resources and learn.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. Especially as an instructor, like as a coach, you are the person that all of these like young people look up to, right? So it's a really big responsibility, and just know the amount of influence that you have
Yep.
and utilize it appropriately.
Agreed.
Okay.
All right. There's lots of questions coming through, so
Round 2
you're
for
gonna
me.
have to make sure that you're
Still doing
still
my
going,
work.
yes, right? So
Okay,
do your
I'm
workout.
going on to set 2.
Yes.
Okay.
And we are gonna rest less. Yeah.
But
She's
I
gotta-
like, that's my
You
favorite
gotta
part.
give your advice as you're doing that. Okay. But yeah, good questions. Like, is 30 too late to compete? Absolutely not. Like, Savannah, like I'm pretty sure it is common knowledge that you're in the 30 plus division.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
absolutely.
no, right? You can do it. Absolutely. Right? 30 is it's not even too late to start martial arts.
Yeah.
And get to the level, it would be hard, and get to the level though of competing at the very top of our sport. Because at the end of the day, like when you get into your 30s and especially like your 40s and then your 50s, what's great about martial arts is that they've separated the divisions as 30 plus, 40 plus, 50 plus. So somebody getting into it later, or even if they've practiced for a long time, obviously when you're 40 and 50, things slow down, right? But you can still compete in a fair, like you can feel like you belong and like you can fit. And if you're feeling really good, jump into that 18 plus division. So it's never too late. And there are so many opportunities in martial arts to try things. So no, absolutely not. 30 is young, man. 30 is young. This one's come on, man. How many times do you do stretching a week?
Me?
Yeah.
I stretch.
Asking Savannah Kick. It's a good question on it. Like maybe give how many times you stretch, and then maybe how often you'd say like the average person who's in martial arts should stretch.
Okay, so I stretch like every day.
Probably multiple times.
And yeah, sometimes I stretch multiple times a day. If I'm feeling like stiff, then I'll roll or I'll get a massage gun out. But I definitely recommend at least stretching like 6 times. Yep. I definitely recommend stretching around 6 times a week, just to keep yourself limber and stretching in like multiple muscle areas as well. So like if you do one muscle one day, I can't talk and do this at the same time because I have no idea how many I've done. I'm gonna do 2 more.
1, 2.
But like if you do one muscle group one day, then do another one the other day, and then just continue on that rotation. I'm going.
I'll count.
That was all I wanted to say. Now I'll do my left leg.
All right.
How often do you stretch, Julian?
Actually now stretching more. So for me, I guess it's like a little tidbit is stretching actually aggravated, as some of you guys know, like I herniated 3 discs in my back. Stretching made it worse.
Yeah,
So
because you were stretching the wrong way.
yes, and to be honest, no stretching was what I was supposed to do.
Got you.
It wasn't about becoming more flexible. Flexibility wasn't my issue. It was instability of my core. It wasn't able to hold the discs in place
Yeah.
and to improve. And essentially stretching was aggravating the disc. I needed to like chill out on movement statically strengthen what was there to decrease the inflammation and get it stronger.
Yeah.
As soon as I did that, got it stronger, and now I'm back to like stretching daily.
Okay.
I try to do like a 15-minute stretch a day. I am not flexible like Savannah. Oh, what happened? What is
We
that?
got another
Oh,
member for 26 months. Bo, 2 years going strong.
woohoo!
Let's go.
How do I do that?
Do what?
Become a member.
You have to click the become a member.
Where is it?
You can become a member of Kicks Fam. There's a link, I think, at the very top of chat. You want to become a Kicks Fam member as you're in the stream?
Maybe.
That's amazing.
Should I do that? Yeah, all right. Hold on. Can I do it one tap?
I don't know. We're going to see how easy it is. IRL. Is it working?
Should be.
It's loading, guys. Welcome. Hey!
There you go. All right.
Julian Day.
I'm officially a member of Kicks Fam.
Thank you for becoming a Kicks Fam member.
There you go.
We're trying to grow our Kicks Fam member community, so join Kicks Fam. I post exclusive content in the community as well that I don't post anywhere else. So if you want to see like BTS stuff, you have access to that. Okay, I've done all my pulse sets. So should I do some like slow kicks or should I do some dragon stances? What's the vibe?
I would do active mobility now, so your
Dragon
full
stances?
range of motion. Dragon stances, like the side to sides, like even just here. I like
Yeah.
doing one, like
Show the camera.
Two.
Show the
Oh,
camera
cool.
that angle, Julian. Come on. He's not used to being live.
yeah, that's fair.
He's
All
just
right.
the camera following him wherever he wants to.
Exactly. You have a very good videographer that makes me panic via peripherals. So yeah, one of my favorite like little flows is like one hold, two, then back,
Be. Ooh,
and then the other side. That was fine.
that was nice and crunchy.
1, 2, 3,
Switch.
1,
Okay.
2,
3.
3. And it just like helps me open up my hamstrings and my hips a little bit.
Okay.
And even just like lunge, like walking, just getting like into those range of motions that opens up for me my hip flexors the most.
Okay.
For you, you definitely probably want to do more of like the abductors and adductors because of your
Okay.
side kicks.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
I would probably do both if I were you, considering legs.
Here.
Yeah. Turn forward, then out, and then the other side. Then turn in, turn out,
How many times?
and then I would just do it like 5 times per side.
Okay.
All the way up, all the way down.
Okay.
That way you get that full range of motion,
Okay.
right? You can also do low transition ones. That one's good for you because of your mobility, but I would separate it, which is the like,
Oh yeah, I love those.
yeah, like staying low.
Those
but
ones
the
are so hard.
Yes. The reason I want you coming all the way up is to like,
A little bit of strength push.
yep, your range of motion for fighting happens at this part,
Okay.
right? So when she's fighting, her slips are here, right? That's her range of motion for slip kicking, all right? So if she's only working her range of motion at a depth she doesn't actually work in, it's not as beneficial to what she does athletically. It could help somebody who just needs a little extra range of motion, somebody who's just trying to create healthier hips and legs. But for her, obviously, working in the far depth is going to help her stay healthy in case she goes into that motion, because you never know with fighting. You know,
Yeah.
when she goes into that position for like that low counter hook kick to the top.
I am always there.
That's what I mean.
That's where I live.
Right? So what if somebody lands on top and it ends up from this position pushing you down into this position? Working things like this allows you to actively prehab injuries, right? And when I say like prehab, I mean like if you weren't ready for it, you'd be having to go through a rehabilitation process because like you went down, you're probably going to pull the muscles because you've never worked in that range.
Yep.
So you want to be working obviously your active range of motion for your sport and beyond,
Yeah.
right? So a little bit. Like you don't need, as like, let's say a basketball player, like you're going to see a lot of basketball players have tighter legs, but like they're moving, but you're not going to see a basketball player like hitting like a deep squat, right? Or going for a slam dunk by like running and then going down to here and jumping, right?
Yeah.
They need to be explosive through a small range of motion. Martial artists, we don't have very many small ranges of motion,
Yeah.
right? So you got to be more active and thoughtful.
Trying to think of any. We don't have any. Everything's maxed.
The most controlled but still active, like large range of motion is like weapons and forms, like traditional. You know the range of motion you're supposed to be doing, but still, again, like what happens in forms is when you accidentally slip, overstep, understep, and then you go into the position that you weren't expecting quickly and you pull something, tear something. If you actively do stuff like this, it just limits it so much more and so important.
Do a flip.
Do a flip.
Do you see my arm right now? Like, first of all, Julian could do some pretty cool, like, open weapon stuff. If you become a member, then he'll show you a weapons trick.
Yeah. DIK highlight.
There we go. Incentive.
I'll spin the sword on my finger, throw it up in the air, and catch it.
Yay. That would be fun. I can't do such things.
Julian's dropping gold and man wants you to do a flip. Yeah, man.
What?
Bo, Julian's dropping gold and the man wants you to do a flip.
Priorities.
Yeah, let me preach, and then become a member and I'll do a sword flip.
We'll go back to the shiny things.
Yes.
The things that get people's attention. Even the trolls.
Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello.
My first video I saw of you was the Avatar martial arts video. Any more videos like that planned?
I have some learning stuff coming up from when I was in Cali. So we have some like cool videos that are of me learning different things. So I'd say, yeah, it's coming up within the next month.
Cool. There's another good question. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this one's a good one. Donald, I stretch every day and was thinking I'm overdoing it. Like, this is a good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could be.
Yes. Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on the like everything depends on the person, right? We'll recommend like do the average amount, okay? Well, let's say like 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
But then that could be not enough or still too much for some people. So it depends on like what's going on with your body. Julian's a great example of that. He just mentioned how stretching, he had to stretch at 0 times a week for his body to heal. And now he's at, sorry, how often?
Every day.
Now he's back to stretching every day.
15
So it depends
minutes.
on where your body's at.
Yep.
If you have any injuries, if you have to heal those injuries, like there are so many factors. Which is why when people ask me about like flexibility tips and things like that, it's hard to answer honestly because I don't want to say something that could put you at a disservice because I don't know you. I don't know where your body's at. I don't know your history. Like there are so many factors to consider. But yeah, like do you have any extra stuff aside from that? Like
Honestly,
it's tough.
It's tough, but here's the simplest way to think about it. Do you feel better doing it or worse?
Like afterwards.
Yes.
Afterwards.
Right?
Because during is like always tough.
Yes.
It shouldn't be like in the painful realm. It should be in the I'm uncomfortable
well,
realm.
there you go. Like even within it, right?
Yeah.
Or even within it, if it is hurting you
Yeah.
in it,
Yeah.
it's not a good thing. It's
No.
not a good thing.
Yeah.
There should be a stretch, not a pain. So if it's sharp or painful and you're like, you're putting yourself through agony
Yeah.
to stretch, you are that pain is your body's response to something it no like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it will often adapt to those stressors. But if you stress it too much, you go into the realm of pain and not like a pressure. It won't do what you want it to do. Right. So when I was stretching, so for me, my herniations were aggravated by any forward flexing at all.
Yeah.
It was okay in the extension. So I would do some stretching where I would like lay down on the floor and press my body upwards. That was it. That's all I could handle
Yeah.
until my spine is healing, and it's still healing, but that's the main thing. After, like you're saying, if you just finished like a 15-minute stretch and you are in more discomfort than you were before, then odds are you're probably either doing the wrong stretch, wrong side. Maybe you need a balance of like strengthening. There's so much going on with the body and the muscles. You have agonist muscles and antagonist muscles. Sometimes it's imbalance in both sides. Sometimes it's overstrength in one. Sometimes it's over looseness in the other.
Yeah.
There's so many factors that go into it. So if something's not working after being consistent and it doesn't feel good, you should probably look into adjusting your plan. Now, obviously, we aren't medical professionals for this stuff.
Yeah.
So obviously take our advice with a grain of salt. But yeah, I would typically say if it's not working, change.
Yeah.
Right? Another good question. You're welcome to obviously you're welcome to answer it. I don't know. You
Thanks-
have my permission to
Thanks for
answer
the
your line.
permission, sir.
I just know that there are some questions that are like almost directed to like my advice for you.
Okay.
But this one's clearly like dynamic stretches or static stretches first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Me? Yeah, that one for me in particular. When I'm teaching my students, I get them to do like it starts with dynamic, but they do a little bit of static stretching too to start. But most of the time, we are doing dynamic at the beginning. So we do a nice dynamic warm up, and then you're doing things to loosen up all the joints and muscles. So you are moving it. So like arm circles, stretching the arms across, doing the flows that Silvana was doing. All of that stuff is good to improve your mobility and prime you for the actions that you're going to be doing. Static stretching, and I could be wrong, this could be old knowledge, so maybe I can do a little bit of research on this one for you guys because it's interesting. But they did a test back when I first learned about this where one group only did dynamic stretching and one group did static stretching for a vertical jump test. And they found that those that did static stretching were statistically worse after than the dynamic group for vertical jump.
I've seen that.
Right? So
Yeah.
their maximum power output went down from static stretching. I think it has something to do with the muscle's response to static stretching, which causes it to be more relaxed, which is
Yeah.
the whole idea. I could be butchering the science
Which is
behind it.
which is why I think that there was the point of doing it collaborative, like having all types of stretching
Yes.
alongside like like strengthening.
Yes.
So you need to be hitting all of those targets for you to have the maximum.
a benefit.
Yeah.
Yes. So how I would shape, even for Silvana now, most of her like training, I would stick good dynamic warm up of skipping, running, shadow boxing, things like that. Then dynamic stretching of leg raises, leg side raises side to side, mobility flows, arm circles, neck circles, get her body going. And then from there, if she feels particularly tight somewhere, we can do some static stretching again. I typically stay away from it, but like it's not gonna like absolutely kill you, I don't think, like to
Yeah,
do
I
some
still-
static
I
stretching.
still like
I know
doing
she likes
my,
the
like,
feeling of it, and that's
splits
another
and
thing.
stuff.
What it does here
Yeah.
is important. It
Yeah.
needs to be, you can't just take it out. All right. It's the same thing with bodybuilding, right? There are some things that are scientifically better for you to do,
Yeah.
right? The science-based lifting, right? But can you still get results doing things not optimally? Yes,
Yeah.
you can. Is it the most optimal? No, but I like it, meaning I'll stick to it
Yeah.
and feel better doing it.
Yep.
The mental health side of things should not be just ignored.
Yeah. It
right?
can't be negated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was fun. Okay, let's see. I'm at a really low spot in my middle split, but my front splits on my left and right just don't want to get lower. Being an athlete, martial artist, and dancer all my life.
Wow, good for you.
Yes, so that is, but I can touch my toes easy.
Like from standing?
Yeah, let's find out. So from standing, he can touch his toes. So that's a very interesting one.
Yeah, because I was going to say maybe it was like, because front split.
Yeah, so he's saying that I'm at a really low spot in my middle split,
Yeah.
but my front splits on my left and right just
This
don't
side.
want to get lower.
This side is your hip flexors then?
Maybe, yeah. My Roomba.
The Roomba or the like little
my
robot
Roomba.
vacuum just talked to us.
Yeah. He wants to be included.
It's Fu.
Yeah.
That's
Fu.
what Julian named
My
the,
robot vacuum.
The robot vacuum. It's
Short
named
for
Fu.
Kung Fu.
But it could be your hip flexors because it's hitting different, like the splits are hitting different targets, right? Like if I, it's just, I don't see who it is. I can't say thank you.
It's senior.
Okay, I think my stream like froze on my phone. So you shout them out. Julian's gonna do a shout out.
Senior. Thank you.
Thank you.
She thanked you.
We're
I'm thanking you.
growing. Kicks fan members, we're
Kicks
growing.
fan.
Yay! But no, we were talking about the different muscles of the splits, right? So if we're in a front or a middle or whatever you guys want to call it, I know you're talking about center split. So
And
here
yes, he can touch his toes from standing.
we're like hitting groin and hip,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And then we go sideways, aka forwards or front.
Yep.
So we got to hit that like
Yeah.
hip flexor, quad,
Yep.
hamstring,
And
glute, back.
like lower, they all play a factor.
Yeah, because they're all
to
of it.
different degrees. to
But if you
different
could touch your
degrees.
toes, like I'm thinking that like this part's flexible.
So can you go into that position again? Like go into side split for me. I'm trying to like think of what's
Let's analyze for you.
yes. So from that position, all right, this isn't really fully touch your toes position for you right now. If you were to bring
I'm
your
a
body-
little tilted.
yes, and also for your touch toes is more your trunk now starting to come more down, right?
Yeah.
So it seems like he's good in the trunk moving position. It's something maybe different in how. So yeah, it's either got to be his hip flexor, or I think. Yeah, I'm wondering what's tight. What feels like it's the limiting.
I
factor?
would try like if I were you,
Yeah.
I'd try like some hip flexor like quad, like here, and see how this feels. If this is like super tight where you can't get into this, that could be the factor here. If not, like then we could analyze it a little bit more. But like, yeah, try and dissect it a little bit. Like
Yeah.
we're taking hamstring out of the equation by doing this one instead, but we're still engaging back here. So try that and see if it helps.
Yep. And then I'm curious to know what feels like it's tight or being stretched if it's different from the side split to touching your toes. Because like I'm curious what it feels like for me because I'm not flexible. Don't judge me. I'm not Julian Kicks.
No bullies allowed.
So that I feel it right in there. And then
Hamstring?
yeah, right in the hamstring. My toes, I'm pretty sure I feel it more in the glutes and like high. Yeah, it's slightly different. So for me, touching my toes is higher up and it comes more down my leg. So it starts high and works down when I go to touch my toes. In a side split, I think because my elevated body, it's more so just low hamstring.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it has to also do with glute low back.
I find it interesting because when I go to touch my toes, I like,
Feel nothing. I know.
well, no, I do feel something, but it's in my calves because my calves are tight. So have to get down here for me to start feeling it in my calves. But when I do my like splits, I don't really feel anything in
Anywhere.
anywhere.
So yeah, they
It's like, no bullies allowed.
true.
That was loud and aggressive. Apologies.
We got a hello from Hampton Roads, and then is VA Virginia in the U.S.?
I'm not good with geography.
Yeah, I usually know what VA U.S. Hold on.
We're Googling.
Virginia. That was right. Yeah. So hello from what is that? Hampton Roads, Virginia. That's pretty cool.
Okay, my stream finally uploaded.
Okay. And then we got a question. Is it possible for a 34-year-old morbidly obese man to become more flexible? Or is all hope lost for me? Is Taekwondo possible for me at this age? Any advice or drills, please? Love your work. Well, thank you. Like, I'm sure Savannah appreciates it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's we can go into like a long spiel about this as well, but I want to keep it short for you because I think short is the best thing that I can do. Just start. Find a reputable gym. If you want to take Taekwondo, martial arts, whatever it is, find a gym, do your research, talk to the coaches, talk to the instructors, talk to the people, and make sure they build a connection with you. Make sure they understand what you're trying to do. All right? And from there, when you've built a connection and you feel good about the person and you feel like your goals align with their mission, you can do it.
Yeah.
Right? You can do it. So that's all I'm going to say there is you can do it.
Just start.
Just start.
Starting is the hardest part for everyone. Like,
Everybody.
just starting is the hardest part. You can do it. We believe in you.
Yeah.
And if you have any other questions about selecting like martial arts schools, we're here for you.
Happy to help.
Yeah.
And maybe if you guys would like, and if Savannah wants to do maybe a little video or a questionnaire on this, I hit personally a very low point in my life going into COVID when I was pushing almost, so I'm 5'7", and I was pushing almost 200 pounds going into COVID. And it was not muscle, to say the least. I was not training. I was not weightlifting. I was coming like maybe 6 months off of Worlds when I won it all, and had completely neglected my life, like badly.
Yeah.
So if we want to do a video potentially of how I got started, like how I kind of like mentally during a pandemic was able to restart my, flip my switch and make it work, because I have dealt my whole life, especially from 15, 16 on, with issues with my eating because of fighting. Because I thought I had to diet like a fighter to get into good shape. For years.
Yeah.
It was always either I'm doing that diet or nothing.
That's such a tough.
So weird. And it's weird,
such a
right? I
tough-
look at it now and that's like, no, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
But that was where my mindset was. So if we want to talk about it, I'm happy to.
That's such
But,
an interesting concept. I'm sorry that's something that you had to deal with.
Yeah, it was
but
really
I'm
tough.
also interested to get deep dive into that.
It was really tough, but it was a cool road out. Now you guys know that I eat what I want when I want, and I make it work within my goals, and I am more than happy with everything.
Yeah.
We have a question from your new
Senior.
senior.
Yeah.
If you could start your martial arts journey over again, would you change anything?
That's so interesting.
That's a cool question.
That's a cool question. I don't think I would. This one's a hard one to answer because, like, when I reflect back on like being the youngest out of you and Lorenza and constantly having to like feel like I have to keep up with them all the time was like, I don't know, exhausting, a little bit mentally draining, but also it like made me the competitor and instructor and person that I am today. And I'm like, in a way, I don't think I would have done as much as I really set my sights out to do if it wasn't for that push. And like, I know at the time it was like mentally draining and it was really hard for me, but I don't think I would change that for the world. I wouldn't change it at all.
Yeah. You know, and thing to keep in mind too is we were 4 years old,
Yeah.
right? Like that is probably the biggest thing is like, you can't remember a lot, right? You can't remember how your journey started.
Yeah.
Our journey started as a couple of kids not realizing where we were going to be.
Yeah.
Right. Every decision that we've made up until now has led us to this point where you are asking this question on a live feed, right?
Yeah.
With millions of people that follow you, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
If you would have changed anything, would it have changed this outcome?
I know.
Right?
Like that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like there are multiple things that like sure I would have liked to not have to deal with growing up. Like I don't even know if I could say this live, but like the amount of like abuse from men at the school that we used to train at back in the day, like our original school, like that wasn't healthy. It wasn't okay.
Yeah.
It made Lorenz and I really, really strong, but someone just walked in, so
Yeah.
that's why.
I'm shaking my head no. He wants to start training right away, and we're going to wait until this is done before we do that. All right?
But yeah, just like really serious topics.
Yeah, sorry. So he's a good kid, and he wants to jump on the floor right away. The second he comes through the door,
I'm like in the middle of talking about a serious topic, and I see Julian shaking his head, and I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah. I'm shaking my head like I can't. I'm not gonna joke about. I'm not even gonna joke about it. But no, I do know like everything that has happened, and all of it is absolutely awful and tragic, and it is what like I can't say it is what it is. It is something that needs to be changed.
Yeah,
right?
it needs to be changed
Yes.
moving forward in our realm, like in our sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, teachable moments that now we have created positive environments in our own schools and are able to educate people within other schools to not have to deal with things like that moving forward.
Yeah. Exactly.
So like you learn from your own experiences, right?
Absolutely. You do have a couple of really awesome questions here, which is too bad we can't get to. I do need to kind of jump into my class.
Do you want to just quickly answer like Sparks note?
Sure.
Boom, 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 boom. Last
Yeah.
one.
Okay. This person's saying like, please, we need a video on how you restarted your life and diet. So
Okay,
there you
we
go.
will do
We'll
that. Roadmap to holding your leg up higher.
Yep.
I will also show that. I could create more tutorials about leg strength. I do have a lot of tutorials for strength and things like in that realm, but I could create something specifically for holding your leg and doing kick holds. Would you try MMA, like going into UFC? For myself, probably not. I've never been a full contact fighter. I've never really enjoyed it. I tried it one time when Julian was doing Sanshao.
Yep.
I fought this like really humongous lady and was like, I'm never doing this ever again. So it's not in my realm. I know Julian loves fighting in any in any way, but not sure if it's in his cards.
No. Nah, probably not anymore.
You might see him doing point fighting again, but as for full contact, I don't think it's in the thing.
Maybe I can have somebody, because I found some of my videos, maybe we can do like a little highlight reel,
Okay.
like showing you what I used to do and what I used to look like.
We'll try and pull up all of the old videos where it's like probably looks like a potato, but
Yeah,
it could be
yeah.
cool though. We'll show some of Julian's old highlight reels, and Dave said it is Virginia. So thanks, Dave. And cheers from Brazil. Thank you, Matt. Thanks to everyone for joining us today. We will do more of this more often. If you guys enjoyed it, obviously let us know. We loved hearing from everyone. Those comments were awesome. The questions were amazing. And I had a great time doing it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Hopefully next time, like I could actually train, and then Julian will just like answer everything while I'm like
Doing a round.
training in the background.
Yeah. Oh, so is that like how many of your, like how many?
We have 19 out of 30.
Come on, guys. 19 out of 30. We can get to 30. 30? 30's easy.
Oh, Griffin, highlight reels for both of you would be cool.
right.
We're on it.
All right.
We will compile. Anyways, we'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.
Nice.